holy. God, you're justice. We are filthy, God. Righteous. There's nothing holy about me. God, I pray for purity. So you guys don't know, when I was in ICOC, I used to go down this beach in Clearwater just to walk for miles and miles to just to, just pray and ask God for forgiveness and all my sins and everything. I remember just walking, praying consistently until I was humbled and not prideful, begging God to mold me, in other words. I hear the ocean, how it just crashes, and how gentle it is when it does it. I picture that as the gospel. Honestly, God's nature is what helped me understand His gospel, His message, how the way we should bring about Him, His kingdom, His will be done, like me and Kyle were talking about today. Those of you guys don't know, I was living a double life as a Christian. I didn't care what God think of me. I didn't care. I wanted to live the way I wanted to live. I didn't really care at all. And the funny thing is, as a Christian, during those times and years, I just thought doing these things will make me holy and righteous. I thought all those things I was doing, like getting baptized and do all those things, will make me righteous. But in Isaiah chapter 30, not chapter 30, but in Isaiah, it talks about that our good deeds are like filthy rags. So there's nothing good you can do because we're imperfect human beings. But that's where false gospel would get you, when you're thinking how you're justified before God through obedience, and somehow you can be saved through that. But I look at this water and I look at how the sky is leveled and I look at the sand and I'm just like, wow, there must be a God who created this. Not some big bang where I think of a big bang, I think of a grenade that you throw at a house. Tell me how that would look like. If that would look like this, I'll tell you it wouldn't. I think about Abraham when he says, when God said to him that his numbers would be like the numbers of the sand, and I pick up the sand and that's just a lot of sand. A lot of sand. God is good and He keeps His promise, in other words. But I didn't care what God thought of me. I created a different Christ. And oftentimes you guys will hear that I'll say picking scriptures like a bag of Skittles. That's true. When I say that, it's because I did that. I don't do it because I want to sound cool with my catchy slogan. It's because I did pick scriptures like a bag of Skittles. In other words, I was trying to picture Jesus the way I want Jesus to be for me in my life, the way it could fit for me, that I don't struggle and all these things. And I'm not just talking about sin. See, a lot of Christians, they think, well, yeah, we're going to struggle, sin, and people think it's always sin, and remotely that is true. I'll say that. But not entirely. We'll struggle not just in sin, but we'll struggle on doing the will of the Father for His kingdom, because we like to do things that are cool, We'd rather go to the movies, we'd rather go have fun on the beach with our friends and play volleyball rather than sharing the gospel to people that are lost, because their soul is at stake. Every minute, every second counts. And I'm not saying those things don't matter and we shouldn't enjoy time. And I'm just saying, look, There's souls that need the gospel. We do more of that than actually loving our neighbors. And that was my life. I didn't care. I didn't care at all. I care about me, how I feel, what I like. As long as Jesus can forgive me, I'm good. As long as I can do things good and fulfill those things and try to withhold these good deeds as much as I can, as longer as I can, at least you know I'm the devil the next day. But that's what the type of gospel that will get you. A false gospel like that. And it doesn't bring me peace because I'm always trying to fix myself up, you know, and always trying to make it work, you know. But when God molds you and changes your heart, you're able to honor Him with your life. Not in a way that's perfect, but in a way that honors Him in your life. Yeah, and you will lose family, you lose friends, brothers, sisters, maybe you're even your own wife, maybe even your own best friend. It happens. I mean, Jesus says that we'll lose things. People will be against us. People will hate us because of Him. But it's easy to say that. It's easy to just throw that as a slogan. But when I see God just mold me and show me that, look, there's this path, there's this light on the other side, you know, there must be a way, and that way is through Him. And some of us, you know, we're afraid to lose that. We're afraid to lose our friends. We're afraid to lose even our spouse. We're afraid to lose even our brothers, our sisters that we have a relationship with, because we're too afraid to say the truth. And I'm only sharing this because in my life, I come across that a lot. I do. But every time I lose things, God just gives. God gives more, more, more. And I look at this and I'm like, I don't deserve this. I'm a wicked human being that don't even deserve your love, but yet you're giving me grace. What a beautiful gift. It's a gift, a work that you can't work for, you can't honor in. But it should humble you, it should challenge you in those things, you know? But yet God has given that grace. So maybe this doesn't make sense to you. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. But the only way that makes sense to us is Sola scriptura. It's the only way we can get forward to that path of understanding is actually allowing Jesus to speak. Because it's easy to put words in Jesus' mouth. It's easy to say what we think He said. You know, I always thought it was this, like, when you're not actually hearing somebody, you can jump in and say, well, I think he's saying this. In that circumstance, you can say, well, I think, because you didn't really hear the person. But remotely, you don't need to say those words on saying, I think Jesus said this, because you can go back into His Word and repeat it, because it's all recorded in His Word. You don't have to say, I think. No, if you think, look, just go back and make sure, you know. That's why His Word is there. But I didn't care, like I said. I just wanted to do what I want. And I wanted to share that with you guys because, yeah, I slept with girls in my life. I didn't care what Jesus thought of it. You know, I was just putting up a show, just putting up a front. And, you know, God crushed my life and showed me where I was a lie, I was a fraud. And even to now, I still am a fraud, you know? I think by learning these truths, it should humble you in a way that it has never have. To the point that it doesn't even matter about the things that you have at home. That those things will never make your kids happy. What make your kids happy is you sharing the gospel and loving neighbor. But America needs to hear the gospel. America. What Brother Matt says. America, this pagan nation, needs the gospel. We care too much about this now, about having my fun now, my best life now. When we think about best life now, we think of sin. But the reality is best life now can be like kicking a soccer ball. You'd rather kick a soccer ball than preach the gospel. You rather go to the movies than preach the gospel. You rather go to the bar than go preach the gospel. That can be best life now. I mean, that's what it is. You rather do these things, and that's idolatry. If this hasn't challenged you, then go to His Word. I don't know what else could challenge you except God alone. Anyways, I hope that you're cut to the heart hearing this. I mean, this was just me sharing how I felt, everything that has been happening in my life, and hopefully this encourages you. So